Hi, here is Asad. As one of the group members of our group, I'm responsible to answer the three questions of our work. The question number 5, 8, and 9. I have made a very hazy slide here because the answer of my questions are really large and bigger in size. Just in brief, I would like to discuss about the answer of these questions. So let's see what is about the question number 5. The question number 5 is about how does educational institutions take into account the students who are different age and students with a different cultural background. What is going on over the decades or centuries that we are living in a very dynamic society, and where mobility, migration, integration, universalism, multiculturalism, or inclusiveness are the very common phenomena of the current development discourse. It could be either in pure economic development, social development, or political development, whatever is it. In this case, it is very important to create an environment for the students, those who are coming from different culture, different background, different age, and different places. What are the basically there? We can say some aspects or principles or characteristics that we can follow to adopt the people or students from different cultures. For example, the changing and reforming educational policy. So educational institutions or industry has to change their policy to cope with this kind of pupils or students, and regular updating of curriculum. That's another important, the updating of curriculum and introducing international ethnic or multicultural courses, providing training to the teachers to create a culturally responsive teachers. So these are basically, in short, I can say that that the policy level, that the policy should be changed in order to cope the students from different culture and different ages. So the question number 8 is about which methods can the teachers use, or does the teacher use, to recognize the different skills of the students. Again, this is very much, I can, in short, I can say that this is very much contingent, that there is no straightforward techniques or methods to that the teachers can use or to recognize the different skills of the student. However, there are some steps or principles or characteristics that teachers can follow. For example, that create an open environment is very the teaching environment should be that in favor of the students, so that they can feel or they can own that this is their own place, so they can learn by themselves, and reward initiative, scrutinize independent work, assign research project, and let the student teach, and let the students pretend, encourage dissenting views, or encouraging brainstorming, and ask open-ended questions, and focus on positive, all kinds of positive aspects. So these are the things that teachers can follow during the classroom. And the question number 9 about the reform, that how does reform affects impact the studying and teaching. So reform is very essential. Reform means development. Reform means the change, and change means development. So we need a reform in order to cope with the dynamic and very quickly or rapid changing environment. It is very clear that the reform always doesn't mean that it's a positive. There might be a negative impact. However, we must say that reform is important, and reform helps introducing the holistic or inclusive education systems. It helps introducing market-driven or demand-oriented education system. Reform promotes to create integration, up-to-date and demand-oriented curriculum. Reform promotes on ongoing professional development of teachers. Reform helps introducing problems and problem-based learning. It helps developing students life skills. Reform ensures quality assurance of both teachers and students. It helps developing the school itself as a quality learning resources. Reform helps providing ICT system in the school. So there are many positive impact of reform. However, reform has also some negative impact, so that because always a reform does not bring the positive impacts. It has negative impact as well. So what is the most important thing is that the teacher or the educational institution, they should try to maintain the balance between the reform and change. So how these two go together? So if they can go together, reform and the curriculum and the students' views and perspective, so I'm sure that then reform can bring a positive aspect or positive effect for educational institutions. But reform is must in order to cope with the changing environment and to produce very smart, market driven and demand oriented graduates. Thank you. Bye bye.